fantastic. Welcome to the programme. So why do we need a company like you to help us do this?
I think it's like many other areas. We employ accountants to help us with our accounts. We get lawyers to help us with law. And EDM is a specialist company that specialises in paper storage, paper removal, and digitization.
Yeah, I was going to say, so what do you actually do?
I think the foundation of the business was more about integrating paper into the business offices originally. You talked about a number of shelves and kept in central London offices. That still goes on, but even more so, the number of boxes that are stored in warehouses for many large businesses to keep the paper in. You spoke earlier about the mis-selling of mortgages. Part of the problem with the mis-selling of mortgages was how do you collect records, proof of identity, pay slips to prove you can afford to pay it, the valuation of the property.
Right.
These are many paper documents, and what EDM does, it helps to integrate that paper world
with the digital world.
We scan them and we put them onto systems that actually allow retrieval later on. So the mortgage industry has just adopted the EDM platform for all the mortgage approval systems.
Right, so how does it increase our productivity?
Well, anybody who's ever worked with lots of paper, you can work with one bit of paper at a time.
Yeah.
Or you photocopy it many times and pass it around. So you end up with this problem of if there's secrecy and private information, it's copied several times in an office just now. If you put it onto an online system, you can have multiple people having access, but it's still only one instance being stored, as opposed to many bits of paper.
But if people are in meetings, they tend to want to print out papers, don't they? If they're all looking at the same document, what do? Give them tablets, suggest tablet computers?
That's a good question. What do people like doing? And that's why I think EDM is quite important. People will continue to use paper for time to come. You might remember back in the 2000s, there's the argument between the bricks and mortar companies and the dot-com companies. And the dot-coms were actually set up to get rid of paper altogether. A completely stupid idea from the point of view of what you end up with is to do a mortgage approval, stick to mortgage, nice and simple. You have a whole load of processes to go through to grant a mortgage. It's the same process whether you apply for it online or whether you apply for it in a bit of paper. And whatever the customer wants to use is what businesses have to do.
Right, so where are we going to hang on to our paper? Where are we hanging on like grim death?
Well, people would
answer
very simply. The cloud is, EDM has its own cloud system, so we have hosting systems that store our customers' information online and give them access. So you get fast access. We do have a box storage business, particularly in America. We store about 10 million boxes of the biggest insurance paper for the big insurances and banks in America. But what we do is, instead of putting them on a van to deliver it back when you want it, we put it online so you can access it from your laptop or from your iPad.
I see. And of course, presumably it saves costs, or does it?
It does save costs. Security is much better. It saves costs. And of course, there's the speedy access.
Now, that's interesting. You say the security is better.
Yeah.
Can we assume that with all of these cyber attacks going on?
I think the problem with the cyber attacks is that when you lose data, you lose massive data. The problem with paper is we're forever losing paper, but we've no idea how much it is, and it isn't at the press. When you have the hackers breaking into systems and stealing information, and we know it happens to government departments and so on. But the important thing is actually how you protect that data. And we put a lot of effort into our security systems, our firewalls, our expertise in these areas. But I recognise, just like the government recognises, that if the Russians want to hack in, the difference is I don't think the Russians are particularly interested in what EDM was.
I think I need you to spend some time in my study at home. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.